And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our growlings when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the moss. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes sound funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our growlings when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the moss. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes sound funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 16th installment of AFR season number 7. The first of 3 races here tonight around the Sochi Autodrom this evening. Unfortunately, no fancy intro video for all of you lovely viewers in the chat. Hope you're all having a fantastic day nonetheless. But yes, Tier 3 action is just around the corner for these guys at Sochi. And I think we're just about to get started. And joining me is Bandcamp in the commentary booth. Band, how are you doing this evening?
I am very well, and thank you very much for having me yet again.
Always a pleasure. Just trying to get things sorted on our end so that we are all ready to go. So, the Sochi Autodrome. It's getting to that business end of the season, Band, and I'm pretty sure that all these drivers are going to be hoping for a dry affair. And it looks like there isn't a cloud in sight for qualifying, which is always nice to see. And 19 drivers on this grid as well. So not quite the full 20. Just having a quick look. It looks like there is a singular Red Bull this evening.
Yes, and I think we've got a fair few reserves filling in tonight, a few people making their debuts for AFR, as we already have some cars making their way out on track already.
Yes, so the Sochi Autodrome, quite an interesting circuit, quite one of the longer ones on the F1 calendar, of course, built around the 2014 Winter Olympic site. And I don't know, there seems to be no middle ground when it comes to this track. They either love it or hate it, Ben. I mean, certainly one among most of the fan base. It's one of the more disliked circuits, but it has that unique charm to it, I feel. There isn't much elevation change, but there is definitely some opportunity for some great racing, at least in the game.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. It's definitely unique. There's definitely some interesting corners around here, and you've got some curbs on some of the apexes around here, which could be quite deadly. So yeah, personally, I don't really mind it. It's kind of boring when you're by yourself, but like you said, it does lead to some good racing. So hopefully, we're in for a bit of a show tonight.
Yes, it also leads to a bit of drama as well when the heavens decide to open up. Of course, any Lando fans in the chat will know this track very, very well. Yeah, but we won't get too much into that one. But what I quite like about this circuit, Band, is that there was a lot of technical sections around the track, and a lot of areas where you have to really be right on the edge to extract all the lap time. And this final sector that D-Mall in the Ferrari is going through now can pose quite a challenge.
Yeah, the third sector is definitely quite technical, and that you do have any elevation is in that third sector. So yeah, that's the real test as DML comes around the final corner to start the first flying lap for the session. Down this long main straight, seems to take forever. DRS only opens up at this little kink. Not sure if that's technically classified as a corner.
It is through turn 1. He goes into the braking zone of turn 2, just around the 100-meter mark. Seems to got that hooked up pretty well, and then it's this long left-hander of turn 3, Band.
Yeah, it seems to go on forever, especially towards the end of the race when the tyres are struggling. It can really put them under extra pressure. But he seems to be holding it together so far through the first few corners. Goes a little bit wide, misses the apex there. Keeps it on the black stuff.
Then turn 7, fourth gear, not utilizing all the track. You'll see some of the faster drivers utilize that green AstroTurf on the exit. Turn 8, a very, very common spinning spot there through the non-existent corner of turn 9. And then turn 10, another really important exit as you carry that speed all the way through the sweeps of 11 and 12 towards that technical final section that we were just talking about, Band.
Yeah, and we saw he just took a little bit of that curb as well. And again, pulling it up just in time. And you can see those orange, sleeping policemen there. If you go over them on the wrong angle, it will send your car into the stratosphere. So he is avoiding them, but probably giving them a bit too much space. Keeps it clean in this third sector so far. Probably just going to be a banker lap for the moment. Comes around the final corner, across the line, 132.6. So that's the first time of the day.
Yes, unfortunately, we will only have a single Williams car setting a lap time, as looks like Sneaky, while we were riding on board with the Ferrari, lost it at the exit of turn 10. That's the right-hander before the DRS straight, so very unfortunate for them. Heggs in that Red Bull goes fastest, and Seb is like, well, I'm here to play, Ben. A 1 minute 30.5 for the current championship leader. Really cementing his pace at the top. Mort goes into second fastest, but still 1.4 seconds off the pace at the moment.
Yeah, and I'm not too sure, but we did have a second Red Bull join the lobby. I'm not sure if they're meant to be in here or not, so I might just drop down and quickly find out. So I'll be back in just a moment.
That's all right. Head down to the pit lane, ask what's up. Pentagonial is the driver in question. But as these times continue to start popping in, Mr. P in that Ferrari, a 131.4. We'll have a look at forehead. Looks like he's actually on an invalidated lap, so only F1 going into the pits. Skate in that AlphaTauri is on track at the moment. Going through that final sector. Seems pretty clean. Has had a rough run of form recently. Looking to amend that. And P3 is not a bad way to start that off. 300 separating the two AlphaTauris at the moment, but still a long way off of the pace of that flying Williams. So we'll have to see if anyone is able to match. I heard that Lick could be one of the drivers to look out for. Apparently the word on the street is that he has a lot of pace. And as Haas's pseudo home race, of course, with that big Russian sponsorship, courtesy of the Mazepin family, wanting to impress.
Livery.
Yes, the livery as well to go along with it. Haas wanting to impress, band.
Yes, so I don't believe that person was on the reserve list to join, so they have left and they have been disqualified from qualifying, so hopefully their AI doesn't cause any issues and we can just carry on with their AI just tootling around at the back of the grid.
Yeah, you hate to see it, but sometimes these things do happen from time to time, especially, well, only when there isn't a full grid.
Yes, well, we do have a full grid now, so we won't have any other unexpected guests, I guess you could say.
A few guys running out there on the track saying, you know, I want to drive an F1 car, and I don't blame them, Ben. But Lick, a lot of pace is the word on the street. Let's see if he's able to deliver when it counts. And what's the secret to hooking up a lap around Sochi? What will Lick be trying to do to really slingshot himself up towards Seb?
Definitely trying to make the most of the whole track, so pretty much riding on those orange curves, but you know, finding that fine line of not taking too much, holding a tight line and trying to carry as much momentum through these corners as possible, and maybe even pick up a sneaky toe as he is catching up to, I think that's an Aston Martin in front, so he might pick up something there. But yeah, just trying to maximize your speed through the corners and carrying as much speed as possible. And you can see there he's gone a little bit too wide. He goes outside the line, but actually doesn't invalidate the lap, so he's lucky to get away with that one.
Yeah, absolutely murdering that orange sausage curb at turn 8. He is getting a cheeky slipstream from the Aston Martin in front, who pulls off nicely. Actually, no, he doesn't. Striker opting to stay right where he is. And through this technical final sector, that's not going to be a happy Haas driver.
No, it won't, but I don't know if he's going to be holding him up too much. He's definitely getting in the realm of holding him up now.
So the Aston Martin is actually on a flying lap himself. Potentially that's why isn't yielding, but goes really wide, and this could get hairy. Still enough for a 31.3 for the Haas, but definitely a lot of time left in it, and I don't know exactly how much that Aston Martin will have cost him, Band.
Yeah, well, he's just under a second. He's 7/10 behind Seb at the moment, so Seb putting in a good lap of 130.5. I don't know if Lick lost that much time, but I guess we'll have to wait and see how he goes on his next run.
Scarsoul's in the Mercedes, jumping up to 4th place. A nice effort from him, a 1 minute 30.5. And there's a lot of field spread on this grid at the moment, Ben. I don't think we're quite used to seeing this.
No, I think some people are just setting some banker laps at the moment, and I'm not too sure how much sweating people have done throughout the week. So, but I'm sure come towards the end of the session that will they will get a lot closer.
Just under 9
Dalek
minutes remaining. Session.
going for another run on the medium tire.
So we'll have a
The
look.
only one out there at the moment on the medium tire.
Yeah, the medium is not a common choice in qualifying, especially given the minimal tyre degradation around Sochi. And additionally, Ben, the high likelihood of safety cars just in general this season have made the alternate strategy a little less powerful than in seasons gone by.
Yeah, well, that's right. You know, it is a bit track dependent on how long the softs last, but yeah, people going for the opposite strategy seem to have kind of got burnt if there's only one safety car or something. But yeah, timing is absolutely imperative, as we saw in the final race of the real life season, how a late safety car can change things.
Absolutely unpredictable races all across both the real and virtual space, which is it's great for us, but
Oh yeah.
not too great for those in the cockpit and on the pit wall. Purple middle sector apparently for Dalek as he goes into turn 13.
I think that might be a glitch because he hasn't set a valid lap time yet, but he has kept it clean through the sections that he invalidated before, so hopefully he can get that time on the board this time around.
And through the tricky chicane of 15 and 16, keeps it nice and steady. Through the final corner now, looks like forehead invalidated yet again, but Dalek goes 5th on the mediums, a 1:31.512, splitting the two Mercs at the moment. But on a slower
Not a bad
compound,
time at all.
yeah, there's promising pace in that Alpine.
We also have the second McLaren car coming into the final sector at the moment, getting ready to start their flying laps. So we've still got 4 or so drivers still yet to set a time.
Sneaky will be starting at the back of things. Currently looking at lights in the second Alpine cars. He's on his first flying lap into the technical final sector. That's also another purple middle sector. But lights on the faster compounder tyre and generally has been there or thereabouts in pace. Just lacking the consistency sometimes to convert those into some strong points finishes. Let's see how he tackles his final two corners, Band.
Yeah, he's definitely been strong in qualifying, but his races have definitely been letting him down this season. Definitely not capitalising on his raw qualifying pace. So hopefully he can change that tonight as he goes into P2 with a 1:30.9. Second driver to get into the 1 minute 30s.
Yeah, lights in the third forehead coming across the line just behind him actually into the 1 minute 30s. But still, I mean, 4 tenths. 4 tenths to Seb. That is quite a large gap. One of the larger ones we've seen this season. And as things start to get closer and closer to the title, or the business end as I call it, Band, where things really start to take a heavier weight to them, as there are only 8 rounds remaining after this race. Absolutely crazy how quickly this season has gone by, especially with the break that was that we needed to have after the first third.
Yes. So currently Seb is leading the championship, followed by Forehead and then Crush. So they're your top 3. Seb currently leading by about 60 odd points. And then the battle for P2 is, there's only 20 points in it between Forehead, Crush and Only F1. So, and we don't have Crush or Only F1 racing tonight. So we'll have to see how this impacts the championship.
Yeah, I mean, you have to score, you have to finish the race first.
Yes, to finish first you must finish.
Yes, exactly. Striker on an outlap at the moment. My data is showing me that he's still on those worn softs. Interesting choice, but no, maybe Aston Martin trying something different over there on the pit wall. So only F1 has invalidated his latest attempt. But what about Lick in the Haas? He is now going through the really tricky chicane of 15 and 16. And it looked
Well,
pretty
there's
clean
no
to me.
Aston Martin now to slow him down.
Yes, that is very, very true. Through the final corner, looks really planted that Haas. And he's able to jump ahead of his teammate, but still, Ben, still 4/10 away from Seb.
Yeah, well, he definitely closed that gap down. But yeah, like you're saying, 4/10 down on Seb. And Seb is making his way back out on track for another lap. And we only have 3.5 minutes left in this session.
Let's have a look at
So
Heggs.
time is running out.
Yeah, all these drivers will have one more run. I dare say we'll have a lot of action out there on the track within the next 20 seconds. But Heggs, in I believe his AFR debut, about to start a flying lap band. Currently sitting at 12th. On the timing tower with a 1 minute 32.3. Needs about 4.5 tenths if he wants to make even one position. But never say never. It's a bit of time, but never say never. We don't know how well that time, or how representative that time is of his pace. So we'll see how he goes through the long left-hander of turn 3, where that front right is just screaming, just getting so hot. And then you just have to flick it to the right for turn 4, Ben.
And hope that the car sticks, which it does. But Ping P12 isn't too bad. I mean, you might get P11 and start on a fresh set of tyres for the race. So, but he might be vying to try and get himself much further up the order. So we'll have to wait and see how he goes.
Returns 8 and 9 now. Looks pretty clean from the Red Bull, which is what we love to see. Seems to now the apex of 10 as well. Now DRS wide open as he goes through the sweeps of turn 11 to the right. And then coming up in just a few moments time, the sweep to the left of 12. And then this really tricky braking zone that almost comes immediately, as you can see the apex for turn 13 and 14. Really hard to get the power down. Trying to open up the chicane as much as you can. Through 15 goes really deep. That's going to compromise them through 16 and lose them a lot of time, man. You can just see how much that Red Bull was struggling through.
Yeah, he was only just under 2 tenths up at the second split, so we'll see if he can improve and what time he can get. He improves by
Really
4
4
tenths,
tenths, but still not enough.
P11.
He jumps to see me skate there as well. We'll see if Seb's able to improve. He's currently just under a tenth up as Lick retires from the session. So the best he'll hope for is that front row. But pole position, not so really crucial around here. But Seb, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He's just a tenth and a half up.
It is a long run down into turn 2, so, you know, there is some slipstream to be had. So maybe being in pole position isn't the best place to be, but if you're confident off the line, you can get enough of a gap into turn 2 to hold that position. So we'll have to wait and see. Only one more driver to yet set a time.
Oh!
Seb improves
Seb.
again, setting himself nearly 6 tenths clear of P2 at the moment.
That is a statement. That is a statement and a half, man. Wow, what a lap.
Yeah, that is an absolute stonker of a lap. We've only got 20 seconds left.
Yep, all drivers on flying laps at the moment will be able to finish. The checked flag is about to fall. Mr. P going through turn 3 now as Heggs has crashed the exit of 10, which is pretty unfortunate. Lights just going past. You can see he's like on the track, like blocking the racing line. So not ideal, but the checkered flag has been dropped. It looks like
More just crossing the line just before the time ran out, so he's the last driver to set a time.
Looks like Scarsols and the Saggy Kid both making their way into the pit lane, but that is the Alfa Romeo of Farmer Sam going around the final corner. What's he able to improve to? It is 11th place for the Alfa Romeo, 131.7. The Haas coming across the line now. That would be 4 ahead, I think. And he backs out of it, wants to start 4th as Lights gets him by just 1/100th of a second, Ben. Absolutely amazing. And now, the McLaren of Jacob Meister going through that final section.
Yeah, Jacob Meister been unlucky the last few races, so he'll be hoping for a good result before the Christmas break.
What's the time going to be? It's 14th place for the McLaren, a 132.1, as Mr. P goes 5th fastest in the Ferrari, a 131.0. Very nice effort there from the Ferrari driver. And now there's just one driver left. And it's Mort going through this final sector. He's about a 10th up through the middle sector split. We'll see if he's able to use that to slingshot himself past his good friend, Mr. P. See what he is able to do through them. Oh, he invalidates the last corner. But it wouldn't have made a difference. It only improves by a 10th, so he will stay in 6th fastest. And ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Band, we have our grid for the Russian Grand Prix for AFR Tier 3 Season 7. And boy, oh boy, that is a rapid qualifying lap from the Williams. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, very, very tight there for the 2nd, 3rd and 4th. But yeah, Seb just clear of that pack at the moment, but we'll have to wait and see how his race pace looks. But yeah, good job from the Williams drivers there. So the top 4, the only guy is able to sneak into the 1 minute 30s, everyone else in the 31s and 32s.
Just waiting for the last couple to retire from the second. Actually, it looks like Scarcells is on an outlap.
Yeah, well, I think he might have joined the session late, so he should probably be retiring from the session.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But as of right now, the only drivers actually driving their car at the moment. Through turn 7 is the Mercedes. Now, question time. If your name is Lights, if your name is Forehead, or even Mr. P for this race start, how do you approach that first braking zone of turn 2? Because you're going to have the overspeed, but the last thing you want is to go a bit too hot on the brakes and then cause a crash at the first braking zone of the race.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's all going to come down to experience and luck, so we'll have to wait and see. I might just drop down and tell him to retire from the session, because I don't really want to be sitting here waiting for one driver to do a lap, but I'll be back in just a moment.
Oh, no worries. You can sprint down to the pit lane. It's right next door to Red Bull, so
That's
you know
it.
where you're going. Oh, there we go. See, it seems I've got the memo. Awesome. So, that is qualifying over for the Russian Grand Prix. And we'll just get a confirmation of the results. But yes, Seb on pole position and looking like he definitely has the pace to convert that. A whole 6/10 ahead of Lick. Absolutely amazing job from the Williams. Seb and Lick on that front row with Lights and Forehead on that second row. Mr. P and Mort take up 5th and 6th on this grid. Scar Souls and only F1, 7th and 8th. The Dalek on the medium tyres in 9th, and the Saggy Kid for Mercedes rounds out the top 10 with Farmer Sam, Hegs, Simi Skate, Jacob Meister, D-Mall, Defiant, Striker, Conrod, and unfortunately Sneaky crashing out on his first quali run. So, this whole grid is a massive Williams sandwich at the moment, of course. We have that random Red Bull at the back.
It's actually a Williams and an Alpine. It's not 2 Williams.
I thought Sneaky was in the Williams.
I think, yeah, but he's down the bottom.
Yeah, the whole grid's a Williams sandwich. So you have 7 pole.
I thought you were talking about P2.
No.
I must have joined back mid-conversation, but
one
yes,
at the
just
front,
ignore
one at the
me,
back.
ignore me. I will mention, it does look like we've got a bit of overcast happening at the start of this race. So I wonder if we're in store for a bit of rain.
Well, Sochi, no stranger to the heavens opening up, both in real life and in the virtual world. We had a wet qualifying a couple seasons ago in Tier 1. I remember that one quite vividly, as Red Panda stormed to a very dominant pole position, similar to what Seb was able to do just before. You did miss it as I was going through this order, but Dalek was actually able to qualify in the top 10 on those medium tyres. So that's at least one guaranteed medium runner. And the only other one on this grid is Simi Skate in 13th for AlphaTauri. So they are splitting the strategy. And everyone else has opted for the soft compound tyres. But yeah, I don't know if that's a a blessing or a curse, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's so hard to predict. I mean, at the moment, we would probably say it's a curse, but come the end of the race, it might turn into a blessing. Who knows? I mean, he did his first runs on the medium tire, so he should have a heap of soft tires left for the race. So might work out for him.
The softs have a very, very steep cliff around that 6th lap mark. So expect the drivers to be struggling once they get there, but before that, it is all guns a-blazing for Seb, Lick, Lights, Forehead, Mr. P, Mort, Scarsoul's Only F1, Dalek, and the Saggy Kid, your top 10, with Farmer Sam, Heggs, Semi Skate, Jacob Meister, D-Mill, Defiant, Striker, Conrad, and Sneaky, your back 9. We won't talk about the second Red Bull car, it's a myth. So coming into this final section of the circuit now, Seb just trying to get as much temperature as he can into those rear tires. You can see him burning them out in first and second gear. And we're just moments away from what is set to be 27 laps of pure intense racing. I hope. Or maybe Burt Meinlander wants to lead a few more laps after his award at Monza. I think he actually did lead basically the most amount of laps if you go through all of the tiers. But Heggs and Semi Skate having a little bit of a coming together on that formation lap, but through this final sequence of corners, it's a long run to the first braking zone. I think it's actually, if memory serves, I think it's the 3rd longest of the entire season.
Yeah, you might be right there. It's quite long.
I know it's second to Mexico at least, but here we go. All the drivers now lining up on this grid. You can see the Red Bull and the Williams taking their slots on the back row, and we're just moments away from things getting underway here at Sochi for round number 16. We have 2, 3, 4, 5 lights ahead of the drivers. And the lights are out, and the race is underway. Looks like a pretty decent start from our front two. Seb now getting ahead of Lick. Now, this is where the slipstream is all going to happen. You can see it's almost 3 wide for those guys at the back, but Lick's looking pretty clean so far at the start. Looks like Lights and Forehead having a bit of an exchange there. Lick looking up the inside into turn 1. There's a massive crash behind them. I think I saw one of the McLarens there getting tangled up. There's carbon fiber flying absolutely everywhere on this grid, but it looks like things have started to settle down just a little bit. It looks like Sneaky having actually the start of his life. 5 positions already before they enter the second sector band. This is an absolutely incredible job from the Williams car, but it's Seb, then Lick, then Forehead, then Lights as they make their way into turn number 7.
And you're right, it was Jacob Meister in the McLaren losing his whole front wing, so he's going to really struggle to get around this lap.
Yeah, it looks like
But it was a great start from Seb there, and Lick under a lot of pressure from his teammate at the moment in P2.
Well, Russia and AFR has a history of teammates coming together. If you draw your mind back to season, I think it was season 4, ban between Apollo, Pepsi, and Nut, and season 5 with Matt Dabry and I. So hopefully those 2 Haas cars can keep them both in one piece. It seems to be the Russia curse here in AFR. But yeah, set up to an absolute fly. He's almost already broken DRS. He's that quick. And there he goes. He has 1.1.
Yeah. So yeah, he'll be pushing hard on this second lap before DRS becomes available to try and make sure he is well and truly out of that 1 second range. But I'm sure Lick will be trying everything he can to stay within that 1 second gap, just to not let him get away. But I don't like his chances.
Dropping back a little bit further down this order, we're kind of looking at Heggs in the Red Bull, chasing down the sister team of Semi Skate in that AlphaTauri. The thing's sort of stabilizing. They're trying to just get this order, make sure they have those tires in their proper operating window, as it looks like Mr. P and Dalek having an exchange. Through turn 3 they go, and the Alpine gets ahead of the Ferrari. But Mr. P, had a little look up. He had to look up the inside of 4, and I know from experience that's not the best move. That's opened the door for Saggy Kid to go by. So he tried to get one. In the end, he lost one. And that's sometimes the risk that you pay. There's a Haas around. That's Forehead. Forehead has lost it at turn 6. Or turn 7, I should say.
He almost collects a McLaren driver on the rejoin as well.
I don't see any visible damage on that Haas, so hopefully it's just some screaming tyres. The thing's still really intense at the front of this grid. The front three all having a little bit of separation between them, but Scarsouls is all over this AlphaTauri rear wing at the moment.
Yes, he is. And he's made a few places at the moment, I think. He's up 2 spots.
Yeah, both of them are up 2 spots. Mr. P down 4. Everyone from 4th to 8th has made up 2 places on their grid position, but there we go, Seb. 134.4, the fastest lap of the race, as DRS will be enabled for the first time for the run down towards turn 2. Now going to jump on board with the Alpine of Dalek as he looks to hunt down this Alfa Romeo, and you can just look at the speed of that Alpine. To the left-hand side, going to be an easy move past. And Sagakid might get him as well, but the Mercedes backs out of it. But only F1 didn't get the memo. The Alpine has to take to the escape road now. But it looks like they are about to go 3 abreast. Now 2 abreast through the long left-hander of turn number 3, Mr. P. Oh, he's lost it! Mr. P has lost it. He's trying to go around the outside of the Alpine. And the Ferrari spins. And it looks like we have a bit of ghosting action as well. That probably shouldn't be happening, but it is the Ferrari down 12. Now 13 places. An absolute heartbreak for the Tifosi.
So the Saggy kid showing his experience there, just backed out going into turn 2 and was able to get those places back after the chicane, and is now running P6 behind his teammate Scar Souls with a little bit of time to make up. Meanwhile, Seb out front, clear by 2 seconds.
Yeah, the Williams has well and truly checked out of this one, but Lick under a lot of pressure from Lights behind. Going into turn 13 they go. Lights already a little bit low on the ERS. How is the Haas doing? The Haas is doing quite a bit better. About double the battery between the Haas and the Alpine. And
Farmer Sam also muscling his way past Dalek there in the Alpine. Really struggling on those medium tyres at the moment. I'm wondering if he's picked up some damage somewhere, because See Me Skate also on the mediums has moved up the grid into P10. So one of them going backwards, one of them going forwards.
Maybe those tyres just aren't quite in their proper operating window. You know how sensitive these tyres are, band.
Oh yeah, well, See Me Skate, I think he's going to have a look into turn 2, is he? Around the outside?
Switch back through 3 maybe. Let's jump on board. He has a look, he has a door, but doesn't quite have the overspeed. Doesn't want to repeat the same mistake that Mr. P did just a lap prior. Opts to stay behind for now, but you can see that Dalek really struggling on those mediums. The AlphaTauri has so much more grip on those on that yellow striped compound. To go through turn 5 now into the flat out right-hander of 6, braking zone of 7. And he's just making sure he stays nice and close, nice and cozy between those 2 teams.
He's going to be very close coming into the DRS zone, but
I think Dalek is... I don't think he has it.
No, but See Me Skate definitely will. But yeah, Dalek really already out of the DRS range of Farmer Sam.
Bit of an exchange happening a bit further up the grid as well. The Saggy Kid getting passed by only F1. As D-Mall seems to have had an off somewhere. He's missing an end plate, man. So both Ferraris struggling in the opening stages.
Oh, he's got straight on. He's had to let Striker in the Aston Martin go through. Is he going to come into pit? Yes. So the Ferrari is going to come in and get a new front wing.
Meanwhile, this battle for 6th rages on. It's Mercedes versus Alfa Romeo. Both cars within close proximity of one another. And look at that, Mercedes. To the inside, easy fast with that DRS assistance. But can he hold it? He cuts turn 2 a little bit. I don't know about that one, Band. Might be a warning from the stewards.
A warning for that one, for his efforts.
Yeah, but then he's got 2 angry Alfa Romeos. But you can just see how both of them are so close to that rear wing. But a little bit wide for only F1. The pressure, it's only lap 5 of 27, but the pressure seems to start to be building really, really quickly.
Yeah, well, you said you can only get about 6 laps out of these soft tyres, so those guys that made the top 10 will probably start feeling the side effects of tyre wear about now.
And you can see that crossover really clearly from Dalek and See Me Skate, because they are all over the back of this fight now. In fact, I think Dalek might try for a move. I don't know about that one, but there is a move for the runners-up spot. Lick and Lights going side by side through the technical, and Lights has gone around. Lights has been spun by the Haas. Thankfully, Ghosting saving those couple of cars moving through. But that is...
I wonder why the ghosting is on. That should not be turned on.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure quite a few drivers are thankful that it is in that occasion, because Lights was around a blind corner at that part of the track, so that could have been catastrophic if it were off, as it probably should be. But I'll let you deal with that after the race. Now, the two Mercedes, quite close together. Mort still holding off Scarsouls into the first braking zone, but not much action going in. Again, I see Saggy Kid again cutting that apex of turn 2, so the softs really are starting to struggle at this stage. And we've also seen only F1 going really off track at a lot of these corners, and goes off yet again at turn 4. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I wonder if something's happened with the lobby settings, because we should be seeing some penalties with the amount of track extensions that we've seen going on at the moment. And again, only F1 running wide again.
Might need to be investigated from the stewards after the race. Let's all play on for now. And yeah, things starting to spread out a little bit, but we are getting very close to that pit window band. It's around lap 8 to 11 is where we're expecting those soft runners to come in and fit on a set of mediums to the end of this race. And no safety cars, knock on wood.
Not as yet. Not as yet, but there is still plenty of time for that.
Most certainly is. And a lot of time for the two Alfa Romeos to pounce on this second Mercedes. One putting pressure, one receiving pressure. But they can't forget about those two medium runners behind them in this fight for 5th. As Simi Skate and Dalek all over the back of these guys.
So the Saggy Kid is slowly reeling his teammate in, and I think he's just holding off the Alfa Romeos at the moment. But this straight is so hard with DRS to be able to defend against. As we see the Alfa Romeo just sending it, pushing the Mercedes wide.
A look at Pegs losing out to Striker there in the battle for 11th place as well, but only F1 getting past the Saggy Kid. And now going wide again at turn 4 for like what seems to be the 3rd lap in a row. So we'll see what the stewards have to say about that, but just jumping on board now with the Mercedes. You can see how close they all are, about 2/10 in it. And you can see that only F1 clearly struggling on those tyres at the moment, but as is the Mercedes himself. Now Farmer Sam has a little bit of a run into turn 10, but it'd be pretty null and void to make a move at that corner when you have the DRS straights coming up. But here we go, the overspeed. Does the Mercedes have the power? Switch does DRS just for a second. He wants to stay behind, but it looks like Farmer Sam can get them over. They're going to go side by side into this section band. But the Mercedes holds them off for now, and there's an angry Alpine right behind them. Look at the grip. He has the mediums. No, line. He spun it.
He's gone around the second Alpine at the same corner we've seen.
Oh no. That's going to be a hefty repair.
He's damaged his front wing as well, and now his teammate's right behind him.
They're going to come in at the same time?
I think Lawrence was wanting to pit this lap, but he saw his teammate was coming in, so he has to go around again.
Meanwhile, Sag Kid, only F1, back at it again. The Mercedes now flying past, and now Farmer Sam is going to get past his teammate as well. Could he make it 2 for 1? No, not quite. Doesn't quite have the edge on that Mercedes power unit, but through the long left-hander of turn 3 they go. It is so close between all of these guys. Simi Skate has just got the popcorn out, and he's watching with intent as it looks like the two Alfa Romeos again still struggling with that turn 4, and Simi Skate has a little look. Thought about it into turn 5, but opts to play it safe. He knows that these guys will be pitting very, very soon. And keep an eye on Lick as well. He has boxed for that fresh set of medium compound tyres. The undercut extremely powerful around this track, as both Saggy Kid and Farmer Sam absolutely clobbering the curb at turn 8.
So just having a look at the settings at the moment. So corner cutting is on strict.
Here we go, Farmer Sam has the speed. Into 13 they go, and the Alfa Romeo makes that move look absolutely a piece of cake. Oh, but it gets a little lancy out of turn 14. That can't be helping the tyres at all. As Seb into the pit lane now with a comfortable gap, he should hopefully emerge in the lead of things, but none of these guys who are fighting opting to pit try that undercut. They're all opting to stay out yet again, so Mort will take lead of this race. Scarsouls as well into the pit lane. It's Farmer Sam in Heron's second position now. The DRS train in full force down towards the braking zone of turn 2. You can see how close they are. This Mercedes moves to the right hand side. They bang wheels almost, but leave each other just enough space. Actually, they don't, as the Alfa Romeo takes the escape road. Gains a bit of an advantage there. Might have to see the position not only to his teammate but to Scarsouls as well. The two Alfa Romeos now going side by side into this corner. Oh my goodness, and Scarsouls wanting to go up the inside. And look at Simi skating now to the inside. The Alfa Tauri now side by side. It's 3 wide almost going to this corner. Can he find the move? No, he can't. He's round. And then the boys that race.
Out.
The Alfa Tauri has now caused the first safety car. Oh my goodness.
Oh, there's been a brake test. And I think Saggy Kid has lost his wing. He
has. Lap 9 is where it all kicks off, folks. Simi Skate, he saw the opportunity to get that 2-1. Oh, that's going to be 4 damage from Mercedes. We could see the hop from that black arrows. Oh my goodness. And this actually...
One of these cars is going to have front wing damage. And why is Farmer Sam overtaking the Saggy Kid? I do not know. I mean, it's safety car conditions. You can't overtake. I don't know what he's doing.
Well, one AlphaTauri's misery is another's fortune, as Mort had not made his mandatory pit stop yet. So, if my calculations are correct, man, he will emerge in the lead. Because Seb, all the way now at the chicane of 15 and 16. It's going to be close. But I think the AlphaTauri might control lead of things. Once it's all said and done, you can just see how Seb just wants to go. He wants to go and make sure that he maintains the lead of this race. Mort now just exiting the pit box. It's going to be close. I think Seb might be safe, as will Lick. It's going to be pretty tight. Looks like both of them are indeed through. Is Mort coming out of the pit lane? It's a drag race towards the corner, but it looks like Lick will indeed get in front. And Mort in Heron's third position, with fresher tyres as well. So a safety car on lap 9 of this race. Everyone into the pit lane to put on those yellow striped medium compound tyres. And unfortunate to see Simi Skate yet again out of another Grand Prix. It's a sea of yellow on this timing tower band. Don't know.
Yes, it is.
Reminds me of the old Renault days.
The classic Renault.
Of course, rebranded as Alpine for the season just gone by.
Yes.
Very French is that livery. Wonder if they'll keep that next. Yeah, I don't know if they'll keep that for the next season. Of course, we'll have to just wait and see. February is where it all kicks off. The car reveal is a very exciting time. New regs as well. Will Mercedes still maintain their dominant form that they've had this entire turbo or hybrid era, winning 8 Constructors' Championships on the trot? Or will someone else have gotten the regs right and topple that German powerhouse? Now, a little bit of an order update. I see quite a few drivers that have really benefited from this safety car. I'm looking at Defiant Diz in that McLaren and Striker, 5th and 6th. Basically getting a free pit stop and slingshot themselves up the order. Of course, 2 drivers making their debut. And to finish where they are now is not a bad way to impress those team bosses over in the race control.
Yes, I think the steward's already looking at a few of the incidents so far, but hopefully this safety car will only be out for this lap.
Yeah, it looks like Jacob Meister just reaching the end of the queue now. See that nice orange dot on the minimap. So we should be underway at the end of this lap. Just under halfway through this race so far. If you're just joining us, welcome to Aussie Formula Racing. My name is Mikhail. Joining me in the comms box is Bandcamp. And there are 2 more races to come here around the Sochi Autodrome. Tier 1 follows this Tier 3 race, and then Tier 2 following that. So lots of Russia action, and unfortunately, I'm sad to say, Ben, but it is the last race of the year for Aussie Formula Racing. It's a sad, sad moment.
It is, but we'll only have 2 weeks off, and then we'll be back into it. And I think
It's Marina Bay.
Yes, Singapore for our return. So that's normally quite a spicy event. So hopefully that'll make up for the break.
Good things come to those who wait. I would know to wait quite a while for my first race win this season. But it came eventually.
Yeah, well, keep at it. You got to just keep on at it, and eventually it'll come.
Yes,
so
exactly.
We're about to approach the sector split, so we'll find out if the safety car, yes it is, coming in at the end of this lap. So Seb now in control of the field.
And it's quite a slow sector of the track, so he has to really bunch the field up in order to get the appropriate gap. You can see going around 70 kilometers an hour. So any temperature that they did have in these tires, safe to say, Band, it's
quickly going away.
Yeah, it's leaving at a rapid rate. Hopefully, there's enough grip in these mediums. It looks like Seb has gone.
He's struggling to get the power down, but he's away. He's got a little bit of a gap to lick, but will it be enough? I mean, he had the pace on the softs.
Let's see if it's the same on the mediums as the green flags are now being shown, and Seb will lead them away. It looks like Mort has been caught out, already a second back from the front 2. But Scarsouls might be putting him under a little bit of pressure. Just 2/10 is the gap there, as we have a bit of a fight going on in the back parts of this grid. Looks like Daylight getting past the AI car in that Red Bull, as Forehead and the Saggy Kid going side by side into turn 2 as well. But all eyes on this fight for third, as Scarsouls has a little look into the braking zone of turn 4, but opts out and opts to stay behind. But he's inside of 5. We've seen how poorly this can go before, and it looks like the Mercedes just opts to back out. A bit further down this grid is Conrad, picking up a time penalty, trying to make his way past this Red Bull AI car as well. Sneaky though. Around the outside at turn 7. Don't mind if I do, Ben. That's a nice move there for the Williams. He's now up into 14th place as one of the Mercedes is around. That's the Saggy Kid at turn 8.
Oh, and he's all the way around, has to wait for everyone to go past before he can even attempt to rejoin the track. So he spins his car around and gets going once again. But he's already, 8 seconds behind the last car.
Lights with a nice move on Heggs into turn 13. He now goes up into 7th place, which wouldn't be a bad recovery as it stands, but I'm sure with 13 laps, or 15 laps to go, I should say. Definitely more opportunities to come for the Alpine, as Seb, 133.2, establishing that pace that he showed at the start. Already, again, breaking DRS to leg behind him.
Yeah, strong restart for Seb. Taking off where he was last time with that strong pace.
No fun and games for the Williams car, as Heggs gets overtaken yet again, this time by only F1. Up into 8th place goes the Alfa Romeo, and now Forehead will be the next to try and pass this Red Bull. The thing's getting very tight at the top. Oh, speaking of tight, look at this. Forehead might have the run inside of 5. Don't mind if I do. Aha, it's a nice move there. Gets himself another point up into 9th place, but he does have that time penalty to contend with, which could be very costly come the end of this race, Band.
Yeah, especially if there's another late safety car. But yeah, time penalties are always costly, as Lights gets the move done on Striker.
Maybe.
Striker trying to have the comeback. They're kind of swapping positions at the moment. They're side by side. But Striker ends up yielding the place. Probably a smart decision there.
As does Heggs in that final points position. Farmer Sam this time overtaking the Red Bull. The Red Bull seem to really be struggling at the moment as DRS is now re-enabled. Sam has 2 seconds on Lick. This is almost unfair, man, how much pace he has.
He's pulling out a second a lap on the car behind.
Oh, the Red Bull runs very wide at the last corner. It's going to put him under pressure, but he does have that DRS. You can see a drag race now. It's Red Bull v Ferrari, Ferrari v Red Bull, and Mr. P about to go through. Look at Sneaky in the Williams. He might make it past as well. Oh, he might make it too.
Ferrari gets it all wrong. Has to take to the runoff area.
Wowee, what a move as Mr. P loses yet another position. This time to Dalek. Mr. P dropping to 14th place. It's right next to his teammate, but Ferrari. It's not been a good race for them so far.
No, it's been one to forget, that's for sure. L plan not working for Ferrari tonight at the moment.
And it hasn't seemed to work for Alpine either. But Lights is still doing all that he can. And all he can do is a 3-second time penalty ban. So definitely not working for Alpine at the moment. Meanwhile, Striker losing out to only F1. Down into the braking zone of turn 13. Sneaky, 5 seconds for straight corner cutting. I don't know how he's managed that, but Farmer Sam now losing the rear. Oh, he tries to save it. Oh, Ghosting saving a Ferrari's life. Hashtag blessed in the chat if you please for the Scuderia. My goodness.
Oh, the penalties are coming in thick and fast now.
You wanted to see them earlier in the race, Ben, but they definitely are here. They definitely are happening.
Have arrived in force.
Speaking of arriving in force, it's a Mercedes on the podium. Scarsouls making his way past Mort into the turn 2 braking zone. But used a fair bit of resources to get that. Let's see if Mort has a response. Not into turn 4 on this occasion. But things really starting to heat up.
Got similar ERS at the moment, these two. P3 and P4. So it should be a good battle between these two.
Oh, the Alpine! Alpine tangling with the Red Bull. It's ghosting yet again, saving drivers' lives. Probably for the better at this stage of things, man. I'll be honest.
Yeah. Well, we might only be down to a handful of runners if ghosting was off.
We want to see people racing. And racing hard at that, but sometimes things can boil over. A bit over the edge on that occasion. Dalek just a little bit lacking patience. And then Alfa Romeo again. That's Farmer Sam off at turn 8. Jumping a little bit further up the order, it's Striker almost pushing that Alfa Romeo through turn 13. Gets a compromised run. Those tyres really squealing at the moment. Screaming, I should say, as he goes deep into the chicane. That's going to open the door for forehead for a switchback, maybe. Not even a switchback. Drop fully around the outside goes the Haas. Using a bit of juice as well. Oh my goodness. Forehead, enjoying those moves.
Done, but I don't know if that was wise because he might just go straight back past him now because he's not
Very
going to
true.
have DRS.
Very true indeed. Striker certainly trying to put it away. Top left corner and to the left-hand side. Top left corner. He's gotten a bump from the Williams. Oh my god, that was a hefty hit. But it's all play on. For the time being, at least.
So there's a fair few gaps opening up in the top 8 with Mort and Scarsouls and Defiant kind of battling at the moment.
Yes, those guys getting really, really close together. Saggy Kid picks up a time penalty down in 18th place. Things starting to die down a little bit. Update at the front. Seb, 3 seconds. Lick, 3.1 seconds. But Mort, he still wants a podium. He still is hungry for that podium and is putting that Mercedes under a lot of pressure at the moment.
Yeah, he sure is. He's pushing hard. in his first race as well, I believe. So
First race as a
looking to
full-time
impress.
driver, yes. Recently acquired to fill in the vacant seat left by Grills. Unfortunately, he didn't have the time to race here anymore. It's unfortunate to see, but sometimes things happen that are out of your control. And it's always great to see drivers stepping up when it counts. And to the left-hand side, the AlphaTauri goes back on the podium. But Defiant is now well and truly in this fight as well for that final podium spot, Band. And McLaren, I know you're... oh, actually, there's a spin. Forehead, Apex at turn 2. The championship runner-up at the moment, having a race to forget. Both asses struggling a little bit to keep up with the flying Sebastian.
Yeah, well, this is what we're saying. You know, there's a few drivers that have great qualifying pace but can't seem to quite hold it together for the race. And, you know, this is what's costing them championship points at the end of the day.
Meanwhile, Farmer Sam, Saggy Kid, these two at it again. They might have both spun, but that hasn't cancelled their battle one bit. So they go side by side yet again. Now this time towards the braking zone of turn 7. The Mercedes has its nose ahead but decides to back out. Has to be careful. Conrad is right. Well, he has the front row seat at the moment, Ben. Has the popcorn out and everything. As these two do battle this time through turns 8 and 9. And they're side by side yet again. This is absolutely incredible. Might not be for any points, but bragging rights are certainly on offer. As Farmer Sam gets squeezed. And now Conrad is going to capitalize, Ben.
He's making his move. But they're going to come to almost 3 wide, maybe? Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, Conrad has a think about it. Farmer Sam getting squeezed off the road as things stand right now. Conrad getting forced off the track as they go, hey, you can't do that. Only I can do that. Yes, the Alfa Romeo holding position there in 16th place. But that battle has cost him as he's lost that 1 second gap to the Mercedes in front. I think it's time to go to the other Mercedes now. Scarsouls has now lost out to the McLaren of Defiant. But looks like the McLaren has used a lot of resources to get that move done. See if he's able to hold it for the remaining 9 laps of this race.
Well, he's still within touch of the AlphaTauri. Meanwhile, Seb and Lick are both 3 seconds clear each.
Oh, Conrad!
Conrad spinned it.
Oh, no. I mean, he had good action there on track. Conrad actually, one of the drivers I really admire, because doesn't seem to quite have the pace to keep up at score points, but still is there week in and week out. So massive shout out to Conrad there. And it had a bit of racing action there as well, which you love to see.
Conrad just plugging away.
Speaking of plugging away, it's Mr. P on the inside of turn 13. Gets past the Striker for P8. Pretty simple move, but Striker has shown a lot of straight line speed in that Aston Martin. Was going to be looking to get back the Ferrari into turn 2. So it looks like Daylake and Forad had an exchange as well into turn 13. Yellow flag. Oh!
McLaren driver's out.
Oh no!
Yeah.
That's a safety car!
He's binned it on the exit of the final corner, and he's taken off his front wheel.
That's is a bit unusual. It does happen.
So what would you do here if you're Seb and Lick? Would you pit fresh softs? I mean, Forehead's come into the pits. The guys behind the pit entry when the safety car was called have all stopped.
I mean, I think you have to. Softs, I don't know. I'd go for mediums at this stage because the mediums aren't a bad tyre. And the softs at this stage, you'll still see that cliff. Unless they are absolutely completely fresh. But yeah, safety car could be out for a couple of laps. I would definitely pit. I would definitely pit and put on fresh rubber. So just to avoid the cliff on the mediums. But what tyre compound? It's a coin flip for me at the moment, Band. I don't know. What about you?
I'd probably gamble on the soft tyre just because you're going to have 1 or 2 laps under the safety car. Only if I had a fresh set. If you don't have a fresh set...
Oh, no!
Skulls with a drive-through.
Oh, that's
P4.
the last thing he needed. He was in that podium fight, and he's gone ahead and bottled it. The bottle job, Band.
I mean, there is a delta for a reason. Oh, That's devastating news.
He's got another one.
And another one.
And another
Does
one?
he know there's a safety car out at the moment?
I don't know.
Someone should tell him. He's got 2 drive-throughs.
The leaders have decided to come into the pits. Looks like all of them actually have. See if anyone just opts to stay out. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, literally everyone's coming into the pits.
Yeah, everyone's coming in for fresh rubber.
Eyes on the Williams pit crew. It is a set of the red striped soft compound tyres for Williams. As is for Haas, as is for AlphaTauri. I think everyone's just going to have what will be about a 6-lap shootout to the end of this race. Fresh softs for... I think literally everybody on this grid, man.
Everyone is stopping for softs.
Yeah. Oh, actually, no. Farmer Sam. He wants that track position. How much is he going to benefit from it? He's juicing. His juicing is going to get past the Aston Martin of Striker, I think. It's going to be pretty close to the drag race between the two.
Oh,
It gets out ahead, though.
Just in front.
Is it worth it, though? Is it worth it?
Well, he's gone from outside the points to inside the points. So if he can hold on, I'd say yes.
Quick penalty check. It won't matter. He's got that 6 seconds to his name. He's got a chance, though. Heggs, D-Mule, Forehead, all with 3 seconds as well. But yeah, that drive-through penalty. Man, I'm so disappointed now. I'm so disappointed. That was actually shaped me up to be a really intense podium fight.
Yeah.
We lost one. That's what brought out the safety car. Now we lost 2. But, a massive but at this. Only F1 has showed decent pace. Might have a couple of cars in his way. But definitely don't discount him, Band. He's still there.
No, not at all. He is in the top battle for the top 3 in the championship, so
He's there for a reason.
He's there for a reason, exactly.
Safety car will be going around one more time as we wait for Conrad and the Saggy Kid to make their way to the back of the queue for what will literally, I think, be a 5-lapper. Rolling start, 5-lap race. Couple of, well, not just a couple, quite a few penalties on this grid. Everyone, aside from Farmer Sam, is on fresh, soft compound tyres. Oh, and the AI.
And the AI,
But
who would normally pit for no reason, but when there is a good time to pit, it doesn't pit. So, you know, hashtag Codemasters AI logic right there.
hashtag not blessed. Not blessed.
Hashtag mud.
Hashtag mud, indeed. Indeed. I mean, considering how things have gone this race, it probably is a good thing that goes things on, because 1, with all the spins and crashes happening across the racing line, and 2, that Red Bull, people can just drive straight on through it like it doesn't exist, which is probably a good thing. Probably a good thing indeed. So Seb's still in control of this race, trying to... Actually, has he led every lap? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think he had more linear lap under safety car. But Seb, trying to convert that race-winning pace that he had in qualifying during the first stint, during the second stint now, has to do it for a 3rd time banned. But
Yes.
I dare say it's going to be a pretty easy task. He just has to keep it within those white lines. And if you want to do a quick warning check for me, that would be absolutely fantastic for those front 3. Because it's crunch time for those at the front of this field.
I would expect this is probably going to be the last lap for the safety car as well. We'll probably get that message when they enter the final sector. But yeah, I would expect similar stuff from Seb to just pull out another second lap on Luke and let the battle commence from those behind. Scar Souls unfortunately has 2 drive-through penalties, so he's going to have to probably serve those at the restart.
I mean, that's tough. I mean, justified, because he picked up a speeding ticket, but at this stage of the race, that's game over, basically.
Yeah, that's going to take him out of the points for sure.
Race
And
control
I don't
have
think-
called the safety car in. No lap cars to
Don't-
get out of the way this time. So
Yeah,
Seb,
that's right.
he had a great getaway on the first restart. Let's see if he's able to do it again with fresher tyres. Decides to hold off a little bit longer this time. And there he goes.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone. He's got the similar jump on Lick again.
Yeah, but still not terrible reactions from those behind. So green flag racing once again. It is Seb, Lick and Mort, your top three with Scar Souls, Lights, Only F1, Mr. P, Farmer Sam, Striker and Hegs, your top 10. As a yellow flag already. Oh my goodness, what's happened there? It looks like Saggy Kid. So Mercedes firmly in the mud. But look at this, the battle for 8th place. Farmer Sam now finding his way through. We've had Forehead and Demol fighting as well behind them. These guys have well and truly fallen behind the rest of the field. But those mediums do not have a lot of grip band. And you can see that the Alfa Romeo is really strong. Look at how much speed all these soft runners have. He's going to get swallowed up into this middle sector. Can he defend? Can he just find any way to salvage some points? Striker gets past. Now Hegs looking for a way past as well. D-Mall side by side with Forehead into turn 7. Get a move around the outside for the Haas. No, not quite on this occasion. But Farmer Sam, he's spun around again.
He's spun around.
Oh no. And it's 3 wide going into turn 10. Oh my goodness. Things really starting to boil over. But Scar Souls doing everything that he can to hold on to this position. He might have a drive-through, but he's showing that he's not going to serve it without a fight. And here we go, Lights as well. Now all over the back of Mort for what is the final podium place. The Mercedes peels off into the pit lane to release these two fighting for the podium as Seb 132.4. Absolutely amazing pace. 7/10 on Lick already, and now Lights decides the upper move on this AlphaTauri.
Yeah, so Seb not able to pull out a second, only 6/10 on Lick this time around.
Lights makes the move stick, keeps it within the boundaries. Now can Mort find an answer towards turn 3? He'll have the slipstream. No DRS, of course, through this long left-hander. But it's coming for the AlphaTauri. It's coming. It's a few corners time.
Yep, next. Oh, they've got one more lap before DRS, don't they?
Oh yes, very true.
So
Slipstream
they'll
though.
have it next time down the main straight will be the first available use of DRS.
Gonna jump back a little bit further yet again. Sneaky and Hegs very close together. Both of them square on penalties. In fact, all these drivers fighting for 8th place, I do believe, are square on penalties. No, Sneaky has 5 for a corner cut from memory. But that doesn't matter. They are still so close together. And Sneaky does seem to have the upper hand on Hegs. We've seen Hegs struggle with that raw pace for the majority of this race, but seems to have found himself in favorable positions due to others' misfortune. Sounds like you a bit, man, from a couple seasons ago.
Yes, very much so. But, you know, you got to be in the right position at the right time.